Thank you for taking the time to speak to me today, Frank. 18th of February, massive opportunity for Derek Chisora. Tough fight, but realistically, what chances Derek got?
It is a tough fight, probably the toughest fight out there, but you know, he's capable of pulling off a surprise. He showed that, I think, in his last fight in Finland, which was a terrible decision, and he showed what he's capable of doing against a big guy, and I think he's going to be more motivated now that he knows that he can be up there with him. So I fancy he's got a really excellent chance.
What tactics would you like Derek to use in this fight?
Well, he can't fight off the guy. He's got to get inside. He's got, the attributes are of Vitaly is his height and his reach, and he's got to get under that jab of his and let his shots go. And if he can do that, which he did do in his last fight, then, as I say, he can cause problems.
If Derek wins this fight, will you have any say in who he fights next?
Yes, we'll have a say in who he fights. It's all contracted who he'll fight next, but we're not going to get into that yet.
Will that possibly be an all-British fight, by any chance?
I don't know yet. Let's let him win this one first.
How healthy do you think the sport of boxing is at the moment, generally?
I think it's very healthy. Certainly from my point of view, we've got two world champions, Nathan Cleverly, Ricky Burns. We've got Derek going in for a world title. We've got a lot of good youngsters coming through who are about to fight in the next few months.
Who should we look out for in 2012 from the Frank Warren stable? Which boxers?
Well, obviously we've got our established champions in Nathan Cleverly and Ricky Burns. I think Kevin Mitchell is going to hopefully will come back. Then you've got James DeGale, you've got George Groves, you've got Tony Bellew, you've got the Walsh brothers, and I'm sure I'm going to forget someone who's going to be peed off of me. But we've got a lot of youngsters there, and a lot of other fighters that are coming through.
What changes would you like to make to the sport of boxing to improve the game?
I think I'd like to see some of the governing bodies disappear, and I think maximum of 2.
Would there be any other changes you'd like to make?
No, I would like to sort of have a worldwide standard medical for the boxers, because that would be in their best interest.
You've probably been involved in promoting thousands of fights. What's your own personal favourite contest you've promoted or show you promoted for whatever reason?
Well, there's been so many of them. That's a very difficult one. Springs to mind probably Joe Calzaghe and Kessler, which I think was a great fight. Frank Bruno winning the world title, Nassim Hamid winning the world title and defending his title in Madison Square Gardens. Nigel Benn, some of the Nigel Benn fights. There's so many of them. It's very difficult call, that one.
If you could promote or match up any 2 boxers from boxing history, who would they be?
Well, I think the natural one at their best would probably be, well, I think it would be a great fight, styles, and where I'd like to see Mike Tyson at his best against Joe Frazier at his best.
How do you think that would go?
I fancy Frazier.
Do you not think he'd be a bit slow starting off in the earlier stages?
No, Joe Frazier at his best was a great fighter.
Which boxers did you follow as a child and growing up?
Muhammad Ali was the obvious one. That's probably watching him is what got me involved in the sport.
Did you watch the recent Nigel Benn, Jerry McClellan documentary, and what do you think of it?
I watched it and I wasn't too impressed with it. There was a lot of misinformation given out. For example, an allegation was made about the blood on on Gerald McClellan's boots being tested, which I would have found would have been very difficult to do because the boots in his robe were in my office for 7 or 8 years in the storeroom, and were given back to him well after that was alleged to have been done. And I think Kevin Saunders saying that Nigel was forced to sign a contract before the fight. What he didn't, he was promoted by me, and his contract was signed in 1993, which was a year before the fight took place.
Have you got any other memories from that sort of night? Is there mixed feelings? It was one of the greatest fights in British boxing history, yet such a tragedy at the end of it.
Very tragic outcome, probably one of the most exciting fights of all you've seen in a British ring. It showed, everything in boxing. It showed the bravery, the strength, the determination. It showed the frailties, and the lengths that some of these guys go to, and it was a very sad outcome.
In a dream matchup, the boxing fans will always debate about who would have won between Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson.
At his best, both of them at their best, Muhammad Ali.
And how do you think he would win? What sort of tactics do you think he'd employ?
He had a great chin, and he was a great boxer, and I think he would have done a job on him.
If the fight ever happens, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather.
I was leaning towards Pacquiao up until his last fight. Depends what happens with what the mindset is with Mayweather if he comes out of prison, what he's going to when he comes out of prison. If he doesn't go to prison before they make the fight, I'd have to lean at the moment towards Mayweather.
Finally, Derek Chisora's predicted a knockout in the 8th round. Vitaly Klitschko's predicted a knockout in the 6th round. How do you think the Klitschko-Chisora fight is going to go?
I think it's going to be a real action fight. I mean, Derek will come to fight, and I think it will be an all-action fight. I'm hoping that Derek will come through, and I'm hoping Derek his prediction will come off. I'll be pleased if he wins it on points.
Frank Warren, thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you, Frank. Thanks for your time.